If you've been scrolling through endless projector listings, watching videos of massive home theater setups, and still feel stuck wondering which model actually delivers on the hype, this review is here to clear the fog. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks pulling together real-world experiences from folks who've set up their ViewSonic LS740HD in everything from a small living room to a college lecture hall. And I'll break down what matters when you finally click buy. First off, the biggest fear most people have is ending up with a projector that looks great on paper, but turns into a dim, washed-out screen once the lights come on. The LS740HD pushes 5,500 lumens, which is a solid jump over the typical 5,003,000 lumen budget models you see on sale. In a bright living room with a few windows, that extra brightness means you can actually sit back and enjoy a 1080p picture without cranking the room lights to midnight levels. For a conference room with overhead fluorescence, the same brightness keeps text crisp and images vivid, which is why many small business owners have been gravitating toward laser projectors lately. What makes the LS740HD feel different from a regular lamp-based unit isn't just the lumen count. The laser light source gives you instant on and off with no warm-up time. I heard from a friend who runs a weekend gaming club that they can set the projector up, turn it on, and start a tournament within seconds, no waiting, no annoying fan noise as the lamp heats up. That immediacy also translates into less wear and tear over time, because the laser stays within its rated lifespan without the flicker and color shift you sometimes get from aging bulbs. Now, let's talk about setup, because that's where the rubber meets the road for most buyers. The LS740HD offers 360-degree projection, which means you can mount it on the ceiling, place it on a shelf, or even put it on a tripod in the middle of a room and tilt it any direction you need. The built-in horizontal and vertical keystone correction, combined with a 1.3x optical zoom, let you fine-tune the image without moving the whole unit. In practice, this means a teacher in a community college can drop the projector on a cart, point it at the screen from a side angle, and still get a perfectly rectangular picture after a few button presses. I also saw a home theater enthusiast use the 360-degree flexibility to throw a massive image onto a plain white wall in a basement that didn't have a dedicated screen. The result was a cinema-sized picture that filled the space without any distortion. One of the more niche features that actually shows up in real usage is the golf mode. It's a preset that optimizes color and contrast for golf simulation software, making the ball flight and terrain look more realistic. If you're into virtual golf or have a small indoor putting practice area, this mode can make the experience feel surprisingly authentic. It's not a game changer for movie nights, but it's a nice example of how ViewSonic is targeting specific hobbyists. So, who should consider buying the LS740HD? If you're looking for a projector that can handle a bright room, wants laser reliability, and needs flexibility in placement, this is a strong candidate. Small to medium conference rooms, home theaters that double as game rooms, and even educators who need a quick setup solution will find value. The HDR support also adds a boost for anyone watching newer streaming content. Colors pop a bit more, and you'll notice the difference on a properly calibrated screen. On the flip side, if your primary use case is a dark home theater where you can afford to dim the lights completely, you might not need that extra brightness, and a lower lumens laser model could save you a few $100s. Likewise, if you're hunting for a 4K native resolution projector, the LS740HD caps out at 1080p, so you'll miss out on the extra detail that true 4K units provide. For people who need ultra-short throw capability projectors that sit inches from the wall, this model isn't designed for that, and you'd be better off looking elsewhere. Let's dig into the practical strengths that show up after you unbox it. The first thing I noticed was the image uniformity across a 100-inch screen. There's no noticeable hotspot in the center, which can be a problem on cheaper models where the lamp focuses too much on one spot. The colors stay consistent even after a few hours of continuous use, which aligns with the laser claim of stable output. The HDMI inputs are straightforward, and you can switch between a laptop, a gaming console, and a streaming stick without rebooting the projector. The built-in speaker is serviceable for quick presentations, though anyone serious about a home theater setup will still want an external sound system. A couple of practical weaknesses are worth noting. The fan noise, while not deafening, becomes audible once you push the projector into its brightest mode. In a very quiet room, you'll hear a low hum that could be a minor distraction during a movie's quiet.